How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another rebuilding video, and we're kicking it back again. A couple weeks ago, or maybe just like a week ago, I made a video of me rebuilding the worst team of all time, the Charlotte Bobcats, back in the day when they had like the worst win percentage ever. And I'm back with another video similar to that. So I found a roster, right? If you're on the Xbox One, don't worry, I'll put all the information about this roster in the description. I'm not gonna, like, you can search by Gamertag and find it. But somebody made a roster kicking it all the way back to NBA 2K11. NBA 2K11. So this roster is from 2011, and I'm excited, and we're going to be rebuilding the Minnesota Timberwolves. And the reason I picked that team is because they had the worst record that season. I'm probably going to be doing more teams with this roster in the future, but right now we're starting off with the Timberwolves. So let's take a look at the roster, man. Of course, they got Kevin Love as their star player. Kevin Love was a beast back in with the Timberwolves, man. The guy was averaging like 20 plus, 10 plus every game. Then we got Michael Beasley, 24 years old. He's second on the team, and overall, it lets you know how bad this team was. Johnny Flynn on the roster. Now, you younger guys that don't know much about, how it used to be, and this is not even a long time ago. In 2009, Johnny Flynn was drafted 6th overall, and guess who was drafted 7th? I'll show you who was drafted 7th. Here, Steph Curry. Now, Johnny Flynn was a bust. Like, if you haven't been around basketball a lot, you know that Johnny Flynn is no longer in the league. He was a bust, one pick away from Steph Curry. So, Timberwolves fans are probably still bitter about that. Then we got Wesley Johnson. Then we got Luke Ritnow, Wayne Ellington, Corey Brewer, Martell Webster, Nikola Pekovic, Anthony Tulliver, Kosta Koufis, Sebastian Telfair, and Dark Goat Milicic. So this team is really bad. Honestly, this team is really bad. So I'm going to be rebuilding them, trying to get them a championship, bring the first one to Minnesota in that Target Arena. So let me show you the rest of the roster. I'm just going to glaze through it just a little bit so you can know who's still there and who's not. Brandon Roy is in his roster, man. This is a team I want to rebuild so bad. So maybe for the next video, this is one of my favorite teams ever. Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, Marcus Camby, Greg Oden before all the injuries. They also have Rudy Fernandez. Rudy Fernandez was a solid player in the NBA, and then he went back overseas. So that's that team. We're going to take a look at the Warriors. This is Steph Curry back in 2011, so 83 overall there. Got David Lee, Monte Ellis. Like, this team was a pretty good one too. Gilbert Arenas is back in the game. John Wall, Blatch. Like, I'm just going to go through. I'm not going to say everybody's name. You can pause the video anywhere you want to see. Look at my Bulls team. I got to pause here. Look at my Bulls team, man. This was a solid season for us. Of course, we couldn't get over that hump. LeBron is our kryptonite and always will be. Ronnie Brewer was such a decent player. I was going to say great player, but he was a great defender at least. So keep going. You can, like I said, you can pause anywhere if you want to see, but I'm just going to flip through it so you can get an idea of who's where, and we're going to get into rebuilding. I don't know if I want to make some trades this first season. Honestly, I don't know how it would work, just because this roster kicks it all the way back. I don't know how the salaries are or anything like that, so I'm kind of confused about that. So I may just try to put together some trades, and then if it doesn't work out, then we're just going to simulate the first season and officially start the rebuild in the beginning of the second or in the offseason. I do want to show you where the remaining players are, because if you take a look at this roster, there's a lot of great players in the NBA that aren't here because they were drafted after 2011. So I'm going to show you where they are, and this is kind of the bad thing. They're in free agency. So Anthony Davis is in free agency, 82 overall. Like, he lowered their overall, so they won't be great, but they're still solid players. Like, I can sign Anthony Davis right now. Well, okay, he wants $18 million, so we probably can't do that. But, like, these guys are still there, so they're going to end up on a team. But I'm just not going to worry about that. I won't re-sign. I won't sign into these players. We're going to just stick to players strictly drafted before 2011. So that's how we're going to do this rebuild, and hopefully it goes well. So I'm going to try to put together a trade or two, and we'll see how it goes. Okay, so this is a very small trade, but I think it's important for me to show you guys. I'm trading Luke Ritnow for a first rounder and Willie Warren. Don't know who Willie Warren is, but the thing is, I'm getting this first rounder. So that's what we're doing for the first trade. And I think that's the only one we're going to do before the season starts, because as I thought, there's not much on the market. So I'm just going to simulate and see how good this team can be when we just simulate a game. At the halfway point, we're sitting at 19-35, 15th in the Western Conference. Let's take a look at it here. We're going to be right there all the way at the bottom. The Houston Rockets aren't too far ahead of us, but we're at the bottom right now. I want to see around the leagues. I'm curious to see who's going to be leading the league in scoring, and this makes a lot of sense. 2011 was MVP season, right? Yeah, that makes sense to me. So that's cool to see that Derrick Rose looks like he may win MVP here. It's 2011. This is Derrick Rose where he would be. Steph Curry's there too, so that's a little unrealistic. In 2011, he wasn't doing things like that, but it is what it is. Kevin Durant's there. LeBron James is always there. Melo is there, back in Denver. Kobe, DeMar DeRozan. So yeah, this all makes sense. Our boy Kevin Love is there. Like I said, averaging 23 and 12.5. So he's doing his thing. Take a look at our stats. Michael Beasley, averaging 10 and 8.5. So shout out to Michael Beasley. I want to keep him on the team. One thing I didn't look at originally with my team is the contract. So I don't know who's on a 1-year deal. So let me look at this. Wesley Johnson's on a 1-year deal. He's very loyal. He's willing to come back if we need him to. So that's good. Corey Brewer's making a bunch of money. I think we got to get rid of Corey Brewer before this All-Star break. And then same thing with Pekovic. These guys are making big bucks. They're not really doing much. Take a look at Pekovic's numbers. Well, he's averaging 12 and 8. That's pretty good. He's shooting 34% though. That's not great. And take a look at Corey Brewer. These guys aren't worth the money that we're getting or they're getting. So let's try to package them together. What if we can package them together and get something at least solid? You know, at least, worst case scenario, we just dump off their contract somewhere, you know? So let's see what we can do here. This is very weird to me because I looked at Avery Bradley. I was like, oh, that's a good trade. And then I forgot that it's 2011. Avery Bradley was only 21 years old. And he wasn't as good as he is in real life right now. So I got to take that into account. I got to look at overalls a lot. But I'm not saying anything significant, so I may just try to package them in individually, like some second rounders or something. I don't know, but once I figure out a trade for these guys, I'll be back. Okay, so this is a trade we put together. Corey Brewer, a second rounder, and Johnny Flynn. We're getting rid of the bust Johnny Flynn right now before his overall drops. And we're getting Rodney Stuckey and Ben Wallace. Like, Ben Wallace at this age is, he's kind of getting up there in age, but you know, Ben Wallace is still a quality center, so he'll be our new starting center. And then next thing we got to do is trade Nikola Pekovic. So let's do that. Like, I'm trying to get rid of these second rounders because I feel like in my videos, I never trade my second round picks, even though they're worth like a half a star. I mean, somebody's willing to give up something for it. So let's see what we can get for this guy. Let's see what we can get for Pekovic. So far, nothing, which kind of sucks because he's making so much money. I definitely want him off the team at this point. As I go through it, I'm still not seeing anything. So, okay, I'm going to cut back once we figure something out. But right now, I don't know if we will be able to. Oh, boy, we're going to do it. Nikola Pekovic, Kosta Koufos in the second rounder for two of the greatest players of all time. We're talking about Kendrick Perkins and Brian Scalabrine, the White Mamba. Welcome to the team. So I'm at the point right now, if we're going to lose, why not lose a bunch? We want to get a high pick in this upcoming draft, so that's what we're doing. I think I traded our starting point guard. I forgot I traded Johnny Flynn, so we kind of need a PG at this point. But since we're going out for the losing, like the worst record, I don't think I'm going to sign anybody else. I think this is how we're going to roll for the rest of the season, man. Lose as many games as possible, get that number 1 pick or number 2 pick or something like that, and then eventually flip that because that's what we do, man. We always flip those guys. We never actually draft unless something ridiculous happened and we see somebody we can't pass up on. But I don't know if that's going to happen. So I'm going to go simulate to end the season and we'll see how we end. Okay, at the end of the season, I thought Derrick Rose was going to win it, but it was LeBron James. I mean, that's pretty good too. Anthony Davis wins Rookie of the Year. I guess we'll let that slide. Jimmy Butler wins Sixth Man of the Year. I guess we'll let that slide. These are two players that weren't in the league in 2011, they weren't even in the league yet. Tim Duncan wins Defensive Player of the Year. Bogut wins Most Improved. The guy was a former first overall pick, and he spent a couple years in a Bucks uniform. And then Fred Hoiberg wins Coach of the Year. I never think I'm going to ever say that again, but Fred Hoiberg wins Coach of the Year. Derrick Rose was first team All-NBA. He only played 68 games, so maybe that's the reason he didn't win MVP. He didn't play enough games. Back in 2011 when he actually won it, he played all 80, or I said all 81, but he set out one game. Let's take a look and see if Kevin Love is on the second team. He's actually injured at this point. I don't know if that's good or bad for us because the injury means we lost more games, but then again, that could hurt his progression, man. So we finished with a record of 29-53, last in the Western Conference. I want to see if anybody else had a worse record than us. So in the Eastern Conference, a couple teams had a worse record than us, which kind of sucks. Because our chances of getting that number 1 pick is probably dropping a bit now. Because the Brooklyn Nets, the Pacers, the 76ers, and the Knicks, all teams sucked. All 4 of those teams sucked. So here we go. Simulating the playoffs. Let's see who's going to make it to the championship. Melo is in a championship game, but he lose. Oh, Melo, that's a tough break. Game 7. Oh, They picked up Klay Thompson out of free agency. Okay, that makes sense, I guess, that they made it this far. They picked up Klay Thompson. They picked up Nerlens Noel. Wait. Oh, Carmelo only played 1 minute. He had to be injured. He definitely had to be injured to play 1 minute. But that kind of sucks. Game 7 and you're injured. You can't really play through it. That's a tragic one. Anyway, here we go. We're going to go into the offseason, see how it goes. LeBron James wins MVP and Finals MVP. All these players retiring. Oh, Lord. We got Peja Stojakovic, one of the best shooters of all time. Kmart is leaving. Derek Fisher is about to go be a coach. And right behind him is Matt Barnes. Is going to follow him and beat him up. Who else we got retired? I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So here we go. Going into the draft lottery. Let's see what percentage we have to get that first overall pick, man. I'm excited. You never know what can happen, man. The chances are probably a little slim, but you never really know what's going to happen until it happens. We have the 4th best chance to get that first overall pick, 11.9% chance. And we're going to go into it, man. I'm going to cut back once we're close because you guys know that this lottery process takes way too long. So I'm going to save you some time and skip all of this. Okay, we're down to the last 5 picks. We were projected to get the 4th and we get the 5th one. God, that sucks, man. I was about to say maybe we could sneak into that first overall, but we dropped down to 5th, which isn't terrible, but then again, it's not great because you know that first overall pick is worth so much, and we always trade it away, but we won't be able to do that. I mean, we're still going to trade it, but it won't be for as much. So here we go. The Knicks get the first overall pick in the 2011 NBA draft. So here we go. Going into it, 5th pick. We're going to cut right to the NBA draft. Forget staff signing, forget combine, forget all of that stuff. Going right into the draft and see if we can get. What can we get? Who are we trying to trade away and what can we get for them? So we got the 5th overall pick. So let's select that. And what about Darko? How many stars is Darko worth? Like, I feel like, I was going to say, yeah, I thought so. I feel like it's more than 1 star because he's only 19 years old at this point. Dude, we can jump up to the 2nd overall pick. I think we may do that. They're giving us back Nikola Pekovic, though. I think they don't want that contract anymore. That could be the case. Or we could do this trade for Rudy Gay and Mike Conley. Yo, that trade is dope. Think about it. We don't have a point guard right now, so Mike Conley would fit in nice. And since he's only 24 years old, I'm pretty sure his overall will go up along with Rudy Gay. So I don't hate this trade. So we'll come back to it. What else is there? We could pick up Gerald Wallace, whose contract is one of the nastiest. At that time, his contract was terrible. But I like that trade a lot, man. I'm thinking that's the trade we rolling with. Like, I saw this to move up to that 2nd pick. But then man, this is tough. How about, okay, we move up to the 2nd pick, right? We do that trade, and then we package in the 2nd pick in Nikola Pekovic, and maybe we can get those players. I don't know. I'm just trying to toy around with some stuff until we find some players that are going to help us a lot. This trade looked good, and then I remember that Kevin Love is still on our team. Here's the same exact trade, but this time we're keeping Rodney Stuckey. So I like this because we got Rodney Stuckey still. So let me just go through everything one more time. Yo, Eddie Curry's in this game? That's not his. Look at that picture. That's not Eddie Curry's face, but that's Eddie Curry. Is he 300 pounds? Close to it. Yep, that's Eddie Curry right there. We can move up to the 1st overall pick, so I like that too. Or we can get Chauncey. Yo, it's so many options. I gotta cut this until I figure out what I want to do. Because there are so many options at this point. I decided the best thing to do right now is to trade this pick for the 1st overall pick in Eddie Curry. And then we're going to try to flip that pick. Like, we're doing a bunch, all right? That's what we do at this time because we need to win. I want to win next season. Like, I want to win that championship ASAP. And that's how you do it, man. So what can we get for Martell Webster in the 1st overall pick? Again, Rudy Gay and Mike Conley are still there. We could pick up DeMarcus Cousins and Tyreke Evans. That wouldn't be terrible because 22-year-old DeMarcus Cousins is pretty good considering what he's going to progress to. Like, that'll be solid. And then we'll also pick up Tyreke Evans, who he won Rookie of the Year a couple years before this, right? In 2010, the last year, he won this. I think this is a trade I want to do, man. I don't know. Because you think about it, DeMarcus is so great right now in 2015, 2016. But I'm trying to win a championship right now. Like, this is what I'm kind of giving you guys a process of what I'm doing. Like, when I cut off camera, what I'm thinking in my head to try to win the championship ASAP. We could do this trade, but Bargnani, I don't want Bargnani. Okay. I like this one a lot better. Yo, okay, I'm not thinking too much about it. Monte Ellis and David Lee are coming to the team for the first overall pick, Martell Webster and Anthony Tulliver. Okay, so that's actually a pretty big move for us. So now we have Monte, Kevin Love, and David Lee. I'm going to have one of these guys be our center. David Lee, maybe. He's only 6'9", but we'll make it work. We'll all make it work. If anything, we'll flip David Lee in another first rounder for next year for a better center or something. But once I figure everything out, I'll be back. All right, so I'm thinking about it like this. Since we can't really have David Lee run center. I mean, he's only 6'9". I don't really think I want David Lee at 6'9" being our center, right? So I'm going to trade David Lee a couple first rounders for that trade we were talking about earlier for Rudy Gay and Mike Conley. The way I think about it is Mike Conley would be our starting point guard. Shooting guard would be Monte Ellis. Small forward would be Rudy Gay. And power forward would be Kevin Love. Yo, that just sounds good, right? So we're going to do that. Let's do that, man. I feel like that's a high-powered offense right there. Just look at these four guys. Again, I'm expecting Mike Conley's overall to jump after player progression. I'm praying. I mean, my fingers are crossed about that. I also wanted to try to get something for, get another center. Get a better center. Not saying that Ben Wallace isn't good because we like Ben Wallace here. But I would like a better center at this point. Eddie Curry and 2 first rounders. We can probably get up to something solid. Like, yeah, Elton Brand wouldn't be terrible. He's actually making 15 a year. I don't think that. Yeah, I think that's terrible. 15 a year is terrible. But I don't see anything else though. So maybe we won't be able to flip these 2 picks and Eddie Curry, which isn't too bad. I mean, I could do this, but then again, we're giving up our boy Rodney Stuckey. But we are getting back JJ Redick. That'll bring some more perimeter shooting to our bench. We're gonna do it because Joakim Noah was a beast back 2011, 2012. Joakim Noah was a monster, dude. So now we got that. We got that done. I think we're ready to go into the next season unless I can like trade Ben Wallace for something amazing. And I think we just tried this a couple seconds ago and it didn't work out. I stopped because of that, but contracts look terrible, but this one does not. Okay, remember this guy got injured bowling? Kind of ended his career? We're gonna bring him to Minnesota. Welcome to the team, Andrew. Andrew Bynum. Okay, so we got a nice 2 big man tandem. One of these guys is going to be coming off the bench. And either way, we got a nice big man on the court at all times. We traded every one of our... Oh, no, we just got a pick from the Lakers. What can we get for this pig? Yo, we trying to win a championship next year. So we trying to flip as much as we can and put together a nice team where we don't have to rely so much on free agency. Because if you know me, you've been watching my videos for a while, I suck when it comes to signing players in free agency. So if we can make one more trade to add a little more depth to this team, I like this one, but Ed Davis is making too much money. I think I'm going to trade this one for this 19th pick, and then we're going to try to trade Michael Beasley and see if we can get Booz wouldn't be bad, but then again, he'd have to come off the bench because we got a great guy there. But okay, we'll keep it at this point. We'll keep it at this point. We did a lot of trades right now. We just did a bunch of trades. 19th pick, though. Huh. We'll be back. We'll definitely be back. Okay, so if we're trying to win a championship right now, I decided that contracts don't matter. Gerald Wallace is going to be coming to the team for JJ Redick in that first rounder we just picked up. We're also picking up Patrick Patterson, so another backup power forward, and we're done. We're done with the trading. We're done for the trading for this year, and hopefully that's all it takes and we can win a championship. I think we put together a really solid team right now. Fingers are so crossed that these player progressions will help us a bunch. Ben Simmons went to the Warriors, by the way. That sounds scary, right? Ben Simmons went to the Warriors. Okay, so now we got to do a little more signing. Scalabrine decided to stay with the team. Good for us, right? We got Scalabrine back. So I'm going to do free agency and we'll cut back. I'll show you guys player progression because for some reason, some people think that players don't progress. Like, potential is a big thing in 2K. But some people in the comments say that I'm up in overalls because player progression. But I'm not. Players are just progressing. So here we go. I'm going to sign some players and then I'll show you guys the final roster going into next season. Okay, so we just got out of free agency. Didn't do anything spectacular because we don't have a lot of cap room. We just signed a couple players to fill the roster. Take a look at player progression. Kevin Love went up by 7. Okay, we got like prime Kevin Love, 93 overall. Monte Ellis went up by 1. Rudy Gay went up by 3. And yeah, see, this is why we traded for Mike Conley. Yo, I thought that his overall was going to jump up a bunch, and it actually did. Mike Beasley jumped up 5. Actually, part of him jumping up is due to me changing him from power forward to small forward. So his overall jumped up a bit because of that. And then, of course, because of potential. Then Joakim and Bynum, they stayed the same. Jared Wallace went up. We signed Kurt Heinrich in the free agency period to fill the roster. He went down. Same thing with Shannon Brown and same thing Lou Ritenour. So, Brian Scalabrine went up the GOAT, making $6 million a year. He's the reason why we couldn't sign anyone. But he's a GOAT. We couldn't get rid of him, right? Okay, so here we go. Going into the last, well, not the last, hopefully the last, because I want to actually win a championship. But if we don't, then, we got one more season than us, and hopefully we could do it next year. But I'm putting all our eggs in this basket because I traded all of our picks. All of our guys' overalls are as high as they're probably ever going to be. So we got to get into it. So I'm going to start simming and see how far we can get. Our bench squad is kind of looking but we'll see how it goes, and we'll make some changes accordingly. I know I said I wasn't going to do any trading, but we just needed to do one because I needed a backup point guard. So we're going to take Jameer Nelson from the Magic. So thank you. Just swipe him away real quick. And now we actually have a point guard in our rotation. So, okay, we're ready. And then we got a backup shooting guard. So we're ready for the season. Let's get into it. At the halfway point, we're sitting at 39-15. So we're playing really well first in the Western Conference, but not by much. The Suns and the Trailblazers are both on our back. But let's take a look at it, man. There we are on a 2-game losing streak, unfortunately, going into the All-Star break. But we're playing pretty well as a team. Take a look at player stats. Monte Ellis actually broke his leg pretty early in the season, but he's only out for a week or two more, so he'll be back soon and filling the scoreboard up too, or the stat sheet. So Kevin Love leading us in scoring, of course, averaging 23.5 and 15. Rudy Gay right behind him with 17.7. Mike Conley's there, and our team is playing pretty well. Our center and our backup center both almost averaging a double-double, so we're doing really well at this point. I want to take a look at award races, like who's leading awards. LeBron James makes sense. Kevin Love is actually second there, so that's pretty good. Damian Lillard is a part of the Grizzlies. Okay. James Harden is there with the Thunder. Rookie of the Year. Okay. David Lee, we traded him, and he's about to win 6th Man of the Year. Good for him. And we're not seeing anybody from our team besides Kevin Love there for MVP, so I'm guessing that he's going to be in the All-Star game. Yes, he is. And that's going to be it for our team. So I'm just going to keep simming. The team's playing so well that I don't want to make any trades at all. Scalabrine, has he played this season? He has. 8 minutes a game. 5.4 is pretty good for Scal, man. So let's keep that going. Going into the All-Star break, we're going to keep going to see how it finishes. LeBron James wins MVP again. Ben Simmons wins Rookie of the Year. Marcus Smart wins 6th Man. Tim Duncan wins Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved goes to Eric Bledsoe. And Nate McMillan wins Coach of the Year. Kevin Love, first team All-NBA. Pretty good for us, and that's pretty much it. So we did end with the best record in the Western Conference. I did not check my team to see if there's any injuries. So 3, 2, 1. Yo, all of our players are there. No injuries at all going into the playoffs. That's like a first in my videos. But let's take a look at the conference. There we are. 63-19, so we play really well this season, man. I'm hoping we can finish the season off with a championship. Behind us is the Suns, 4 games behind us. I don't know how we didn't win Coach of the Year. We had the best record, but the Suns are below us. Anyway, first round is against the Jazz. See who the Jazz have on their team at this point. Last time I checked, they had AK-47, man. AK-47 was a dog back in his day. So, yes, they still got D. Will, Hal Jefferson. Paul Millsap is injured, but he's going to play through it. They got Emmanuel Mudiay. Gordon Hayward. Where is AK-47 is not there, so we don't have to worry about that dude. So game 1 is a victory. Game 2, I feel like we're going to sweep this team. Something tells me it's game 2. Watch we know. We're going to get up. Okay, never mind. I was going to say we're going to get up 3-0, and then we're going to lose because that's always what happens every series for me. But we're up 3-1, and there it is. Now we're going against the OKC Thunder, who have their own big 3 at this point. Oh, make that big 4 because they want to pick up Jahlil Okafor. They got Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, James Harden. We knew that they played together back in the day, but James Harden wasn't as good back then, so this should be a tough series. But hey, I know our boys got some fight in them. Everybody's on fire too. The whole starting 5, the 6th man, the 8th man, everybody on fire at this point. Let me take Kirk Heinrich's minutes away. Is that petty? No, it's not petty. We need our starters to play as many minutes as possible in the playoffs. So that was the reason behind it. It's not because I hate Captain. It's just because we need our starters to play. Here we go. Game 1, we win. So that's a big one to start off the series. Game 2, Okay, no, I thought this was going to be a hard... Okay, they finally get a win. There it is. But, I thought it was going to be a hard series, and here it is, man. Here it is. Game 5 is a big one, man. We get that victory. Durant put up 37, and they lose. This is a big game right here. 3-3. Oh, we lost by 3 points, yo. 3 points. That's it. All right. Here we go. We got a simcaster. So one thing I wanted to do before we simcast, I wanted to make sure we played aggressively on defense. Like, how do I do that? Play physical defense. That's what we need at this point. I need everybody to play hard, play tight on everything. We can't afford this right now. We cannot afford to lose this game. Oh, Kevin Love is out. Okay, well, somebody else got to step up. Who's our new starting power forward? They got Rudy Gay at power forward. I'm not opposed to that. We'll take that for now. But my boy is out. Like, our star of our team is out, man. I don't know how we're gonna do it without him. But we gotta see. We're keeping in this game at this point. Oh man, that's not good. That is not good. Down by 10 with a minute and a half to go. That's all she wrote, folks. Okay, we got one more season in us, boys. One more season to win this championship. And if we fail, we suck. Brandon Roy wins a Finals MVP. Grant Hill, Jason Kidd all retire. All right, man. How many people did we have on a 1-year contract? That's my problem. Because I went all in on this season. Yeah, Rudy Gay is no longer going to be a part of this team unless he's like super loyal. I went all in this season because I just thought that we were going to win it all. Michael Beasley too. Yo, we may lose these players, so that sucks. We don't have a draft pick. I'm going to go right to, let's go right to this, man. Team and player options. We don't have a draft pick. We're not going to sign any rookies. We don't need to do any of that. So I just want to make sure we contain. Rudy Gay declined his player option. We just lost Rudy Gay, boys. Lost Rudy Gay. Why you got to do that? We were on the verge of winning the championship until our star player got hurt, Rudy. God. Everybody. Rudy Gay, Michael Beasley, Shannon Brown, all those guys don't matter. But these two guys were big parts of our team last season. So, okay, I'm going to go into free agency, and hopefully, I want to get these two back. I still want these two guys to be on our team. So, I'm going to try my best to pull both of those people back in. If we don't, then we gotta look somewhere else. Bad news, boys. We lost Rudy Gay. But we did get back Michael Beasley. So, we did retain one of those players. It still kind of sucks, but there's a team going into the next season. Kevin Love is still here. Monte, Mike Conley, Michael Beasley, Joakim Noah, Bynum, Jared Wallace. The rest of these guys are trash. We didn't have a lot of money, man. So this is the way we're rolling. I'm still confident, though. I'm very confident that we can still win the championship with this team. So that's the plan. That's definitely the plan at this point. We do have a draft pick now that we can try to trade. You know, I'm all about flipping those picks. So let's go ahead and try it. We got 2 draft picks. Okay. Let's try to flip them things. And, you know, maybe we could get a player that's okay to help our bench squad. Our starting squad is good. Like, I like our starters. But getting the guy off a bench will be clutch. Like, something like this. Something very small like this. 2 players coming off our bench that can score for us would be clutch. So I think that's what we're going to do. I want to package in. So those 2 players are probably the move we're doing. Ty Lawson and Aaron Aflalo, welcome to the team. So we did upgrade our backup point guard position a little bit. And same thing with our backup shooting guard. So this is a team rolling into it, man. This is a team. I got complete faith in my team. So we're going to do some simming, and we'll be back at the All-Star break. Man, forget Rudy Gay. Even without him, the boys are playing well. We're currently on a 12-game streak going into the All-Star break. We actually had a 15-game streak earlier this year. Yeah, we tearing things up even without him. I swear, we would not have to be in Season 3 if it wasn't for Kevin Love getting injured for the playoffs, yo. We would already have our championship rings, and we'd be done with this video. But I guess if you like these videos, lucky for you, we didn't win it that year. But here we go. Everybody's on fire still, all the way down to the 6th man. Take a look at our stats. Kevin Love continuing to dominate the league, averaging 25 and 15. Monte Ellis no longer have a broken leg, averaging 20 for us. Michael Beasley stepping up big in that starting lineup now that Rudy Gay is leaving us, has left us. And same thing with Ty Law, backup point guard, averaging 11, pretty good. Aaron Aflalo averaging 8. Okay, we're gonna keep going. I want to see how long we can actually have this streak going, man. So, I'm excited. I'm definitely excited. I wonder who's gonna win MVP this year too. It has been LeBron for 2 years straight, and I'm gonna keep talking until we lose our first game. I just want to see how high this streak can go. This is a 21 streak right now, 22 streak. If it goes to the end of the season, yo, there's no doubt we're going to win this championship. I don't see how we don't win the championship if we continue a streak to 30. Yo, it's about to hit 30. Oh, my God. Oh, there it is. I think it got exactly to 30, and we lose by like 20, over 20. All right, so I'll be back once we're done with the season. All right, before we sim this last game, I want to show you guys. After we lost that one game, after the 30-game streak, we lost 2 more. Which is tragic, and then we lose 2 more at the end of the season, which isn't good either. But here, Kevin Love with the MVP, representing Minnesota. Patrick O'Brien, whoever that is, wins Rookie of the Year. Gilbert Arenas, 6th man. Tim Duncan, 3 years in a row, winning Defensive Player of the Year. Most improved goes to DeAndre Jordan. Flip Saunders, rest in peace, Flip. Like honestly, rest in peace, Flip. Wins Coach of the Year. Right there, a patch on Kevin Love's jersey. Rest in peace, Flip. Like I can't say it enough. Rest in peace, bro. I called him bro. That's I didn't mean to say bro. Anyway, we're going into the playoffs here. Kevin Love has twisted his knee for some reason. He just does not want to play in the playoffs, but he's actually playing through this one. So we're good. We're good. First round is going to be against the Sacramento Kings, and we better win a championship this year, or this is all for nothing. They have Anthony Davis somehow, and they got 2 of the best big men in the league, along with Jay Crowder and Isaiah Thomas, even though Isaiah Thomas kind of is bad. But anyway, here we go. Game 1 is a victory. Game 2 is a victory. Game 3 is not a victory. It's not a victory. We lose by 2. That happens all the time. All the time to me. Game 3 is a victory. And we did not do that. Okay, game 6, we get to the second round. I'm going against Portland in this one. See who they have on their team. See if they still have the same guys. Where are they? Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, same team that they had, Wesley Matthews and Nicholas Batum. So here we go. Game 1 is going to go to us, hopefully. Yes, it did go to us. Game 2 is to us. Game 3 to us, but watch we lose because I never complete the sweep. Watch me lose because I never can complete the sweep. I don't know why. It just doesn't let me do it. And what? Oh my God. They always made a comeback. But we're going against the Suns in the next round. They still have Steve Nash, Nerlens Noel, Jimmy Butler, Stanley Johnson. They cheated, yo. They took all these guys out of free agency. These guys shouldn't even be on their team. They cheated. They still got Tyrese Thomas. Bus. We traded the Bulls, I'm talking about. We traded LaMarcus Aldridge, one of the best power forwards in the league at this point, for this bum right here, Tyrese Thomas, man. What a terrible, terrible decision. But anyway, next round in the playoffs should be a good one, man, because I think our team is better than theirs, so I'm hoping we can get out this scot-free. We lost the game, but I'm not going to stop simming because I think we're going to advance, and we do. Going against the Brooklyn Nets, and who else but Kevin Love needs to stay healthy, man. What is his problem out here? They got Brandon Knight, Brook Lopez, Derek Favors, Devin Booker, Inez Cantor, Tim Hardaway Jr. This should be an easy win for us, man. I'm expecting a sweep, but you guys know how that is. I never can complete the sweep. So there we go. Put on the sound. Game 1 is a victory. Game 2 is a victory. Yo, we may be able to complete the sweep. I need to stop saying that because we may be able to do it right here, right now, in the Barclays Center. 1 minute left. Let me slow it down a bit so I can actually jump in and you guys can see the celebrations. If you did enjoy the video, as always, be sure to leave it a like. I actually found out, if you watched my last video, you know I was kind of concerned because I heard a train and there's no train around my house. Girlfriend informed me there's a train around my house. So no need to be alarmed. I'm out. Thanks so much for watching.
And they've done it, the new NBA champions. What a moment it is right now to see the team who played so well together enjoying, Clark, this NBA championship moment.
Well, Kevin, it's awesome to be here to witness what happened tonight.
And seeing this team come together over the course of the season and on into the playoffs, what a joy. I mean, there is no better champion the league could have asked for.
And a pleasure here at 2K Sports to be with you all season long. Good night, everyone.